Hi, I'm Frank from Public Spend Forum, and we're back with another 5-minute video to help you increase your impact. This one is on better communication with industry. Now, why are we talking about this? It seems obvious. Buyers and suppliers should have open lines of communication, but in the public sector, it doesn't always work out like this. I've heard from multiple people on both sides that communication between buyers and suppliers, or government and industry, is at an all-time low. Now, you might say, Frank, that's garbage. You're just being an alarmist. There is plenty of talk between government and industry. And maybe you're right, but the fact is that while we may be talking to each other, we're not really communicating. And this is because our talking has become too formal, too robotic. We're talking at each other, following the playbook, but we're not communicating. And why is this? Well, for one thing, our fear of saying the wrong thing has led to an unhealthy communication environment. Sure, contracting officers are risk averse, but they have reason to be. COs are risk averse because they are responsible for maintaining fair competition and guarding against the perception of favoritism. However, we cannot live in fear because we have a public sector trust fund that spends $10 trillion globally, nearly $500 billion in our federal government alone. We will not succeed if we let our fears preclude the appropriate sharing of information between buyers and suppliers. Now, this is not about providing any unfair or unethical information. It's about helping your suppliers create better products and services for your program customer and for their end user. So go ahead and talk about what you're buying. Please get advice from the experts. Don't turn a blind eye to your suppliers. Just follow these tips for better communication with industry. Tip number 1, treat the solicitation as a triggering event. Before you release a solicitation, your ability to have conversations with industry is relatively wide open and low risk. This is the time to share information with everyone in the marketplace and get feedback to improve your requirements as well as your acquisition strategy. Once you release the solicitation, you should put your guard back up. Now, I don't mean that you should block off all communication. Communication should still occur, but the formality level definitely increases and it should flow through the contracting office. Tip number 2, be mindful. What I mean is everybody has a job to do. Everyone answers to someone. We all have skin in this game. Suppliers want the information so they can do their jobs better, and contracting professionals want to do right by their customer. Respect each other. Try to walk a mile in their shoes, if not literally, then figuratively. Tip number 3, the best way to stay on the right side of the ethical threshold is to share information with everyone. If you feel like you divulged something that makes you uncomfortable or you think that could lead to unfair competition, put it in a pre-solicitation notice. If the divulgence occurs after release of the solicitation, issue an amendment. But keep in mind that there are degrees of divulgence, and some information should not be shared, like an offeror's bid or proposal information. Familiarize yourself with the Procurement Integrity Act and the Trade Secrets Act, and if you're really worried about something that you've shared or said, talk to counsel immediately. One way to stay out of major issues is to follow tip number 4 and use common sense. If it would help the supplier build a better proposal by increasing their understanding of their needs, that's good information to share and to share broadly. Questions about the procurement requirements, solicitation terms and conditions, and the anticipated evaluation strategy are fair game. Questions about an incumbent's processes or pricing are off limits. Requests for access to non-public information are off limits. Anything that smells of quid pro quo is off limits. Tip number 5, intelligence does not equate to organizational conflict of interest. One common myth is that if a vendor shares information with a CO and that information eventually finds its way into the final requirement, the informing vendor will be ineligible to bid due to OCI. That is not true. It has been dispelled multiple times, most formally in OFPP's 2011 and 2012 Myth-Busting Memoranda series. If you genuinely believe an OCI concern exists, check with your Office of Chief Counsel. To summarize, communicating with suppliers in an appropriate manner has many benefits. Sharing unique terms and conditions may lead to lower prices. Informing the market of potential small business set-asides and subcontracting goals can lead to more small business participation. Sharing draft requirements can elicit feedback from experts that can improve your requirements and lead to more responsive offers. Giving information about how you intend to evaluate offers can improve your competition, as proposal strategies are very much dictated by contract type and method of evaluation. Oh, and by the way, communicating with industry does not have to be in person or over the phone. A great way to be prudent in sharing information is to do so electronically through online discussion forums, like the one we recently launched through our open global community. Federal regulations make it clear that electronic communications and discussions in interactive communities are appropriate and acceptable. And if you're nervous about saying something you shouldn't, there's really no greater comfort than the good old backspace key. So release information early and often. Develop relationships. Host open calls. Send out mass emails. Be a human. And register for our portal at community.publicspendforum.net. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to our channel. We get new videos up here every week, and we'd love to hear from you what that next video should be.